Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, CM Punk and Jon Moxley wrestled a shocking match on last night's AEW Dynamite.
A major backstage meeting was held ahead of last night's AEW Dynamite. I'm going to tell you all about it.
We have a frankly insane report about backstage drama in the AEW Women's Division.
And a top AEW star was suspended and a match is gone from All Out. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And so much for hopes of having a nice quiet day.
Oh, this is the news.
Alright, so we're going to get the lighter stuff out of the way and then we're going to get into the real main. What we've done is we've served you appetizer and then we're going to hit the entree and we've got a delicious bit of dessert to follow. So let's kick this thing off by talking about Jon Moxley versus CM Punk. Right, obviously massive Dynamite spoilers here. If you don't want them, here's fair warning. Timestamps below. Skip this story. No harm, no foul. Right, Jon Moxley squashed CM Punk's ass.
What the hell's going on?
Squashed him in 3.5 minutes. So this was built up. It was a match that many of us thought could headline All Out. They opted to do it on TV instead. Reportedly, according to Fightful, Jon Moxley's idea. Punk came into
I
it.
didn't know that.
So the match played out 3.5 minutes. Obviously, unification for the AEW World title. Jon Moxley's interim. CM Punk's the real world champion or whatever. And yeah, 3 minutes. That's all it took, brothers. So it started hot. They got right into it. CM Punk went for a high kick. Sold his surgically repaired foot, and from there it was elementary.
Which he didn't kick with, we should point out.
There we go.
Kicked with the right, sold the left.
So the standing one gave way underneath him, and that's what went. So that's even smarter in a way, because the wrestler was like, well, I can't logically kick with my broken foot, so I'm going to use the other one, which is just given away from me underneath. That's an even better story.
It's mad.
That's wild. But yeah, there we go. Moxley attacked it, wrapped it up, 2 Death Riders, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, world champion. Crazy, chaotic, no one could have predicted that. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm not going to tell you them on this video.
Ooh.
You're going to have to read my review article from this. But that's how it all went down. It leaves the all-out main event as a huge question. What the hell are they going to do? We'll talk about that more a little bit later on as well. But yeah, there we go. That's what happened. Yeah. Look, you're either going to be a 1 out of 10 on this or you're going to be a 10 out of 10. I don't think there's such thing as a 5 on this.
Yes, it was a divisive world title match, I think it's fair to say.
I think the podcast today might host a brawl.
I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not really going to give my thoughts on this here either. You have to find my thoughts out, and let's be honest, you're more interested in probably Michael Sidgwick and Michael Hamlet's thoughts on it. That is available on the AEW Dynamite review.
On a daily basis, we get called WWE shills, we get called AEW shills. What we really are shills for our own content.
Exactly. Croc shills is what we
There
really
we are, crocodile. Shillfish.
So, yeah, if you want to know our thoughts on it, WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, it's going to be something, that podcast today. It really is.
Alex Shilley.
Very good. By the way, the Motor City Machine Guns are all out. Yes, please.
What's going on, guys?
Sorry, that's a bit of a spoiler as well for All Out. But yeah, it's fair to say I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect it not to be the main event, and I don't know how to feel about it, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what's going to happen at All Out, but as you say, we're going to talk a bit about it later on, and we're even going to do a video podcast saying what needs to happen at All Out. I hope those two have got some ideas, because I haven't got a bloody clue. Anyway, let's talk about this big backstage meeting. You may have seen this on social media last night. It was reported by Fightful Select. No crap. Just Sapp, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.
He's a good guy, Sean.
Coming through, with the reports. To say that they announced it beforehand, but there was a big backstage meeting held at last night's AEW Dynamite to discuss all the hot button issues, and attendance was mandatory for talent, although some talent obviously weren't there for Dynamite, so I don't know, maybe they Zoomed them or something. Regardless, there was an update following the meeting that came from Fightful as well, saying that Tony Khan was fired up for the occasion. When is he not? Teamwork, communication, who talent should go to if they have concerns, and access to Tony Khan were all brought up. The executive VPs, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, also stated that their doors are always open to talent as well, and they made themselves available. And they also discussed the rumours of contract tampering. And they mentioned in the meeting that AEW's chief legal officer has sent an email to co-CEOs of WWE, Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, addressing this. We've talked a little bit about this in recent weeks. But it's nice to see that AEW are confronting some of their issues head on. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, I have this hilarious mental image after the phrase "fired up" was used now of Tony replicating "Let's effing go" from his press conference the other month.
Guys, we haven't had a meeting in over 9 days.
Yeah, guys, I'm bringing in the Fiend. That sounded like Will Ospreay. What am I doing
Your
there?
tweet popped up about the Fiend.
Right.
Did people think that was a spoiler?
Oh my
or
god,
something?
right? Yeah, like last night I tweeted about the Fiend. I was like, I can't wait for this post-Dynamite press conference. I literally put a photo of the Fiend sitting beside Tony Khan behind the desk, right?
With a cartoon.
With a cartoon tongue sticking out of his mouth, and some people thought I was being serious. Lads, I literally photoshopped a cartoon tongue on the Fiend. But yeah.
You look at Andy's tweets, it's basically like really in-depth, good wrestling coverage, news reporting, stuff like that. And then just banter.
Yeah,
just some
chaos.
Mad bollocks involving the
Chaos.
Fiend and crocodiles,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that a photo of the Fiend with a cartoon tongue is real, you're insane. Speaking,
Just go, don't even touch grass. Just go outside for a bit.
Yeah, you probably are allergic to grass at this stage. Right, so it's important that we spoke about that backstage meeting here because I think it contextualizes something we're about to talk about. The AEW Women's Division, you don't know this story. You literally just came through the door this morning when I pretty much just hooked you into the studio and went, hey, there's so much news, we got to record now. This is crazy. The backstage meeting, right? On the show as well, we had Thunder Rosa saying that I'm injured, I cannot defend the Women's World Championship, so we're getting an interim title. There's a 4-way match. Again, thoughts on that in the article and on the podcast. The injury is legit, by the way, right? 100% legit. This has been confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter, and it's also been confirmed by Mike Johnson, PW Insider. So no, it's a work conspiracy, none of that
Not
nonsense.
even from me.
Despite what I'm about to tell you here, this report comes from Voices of Wrestling, Joe Lanza, speaking on their, what's the name of their show here? Instant Reaction Live. Reporting on there. Right, I appreciate that outlet isn't a lot of people's favorite website for a variety of reasons, whatever. However, VOW, excellent track record, excellent sources. I can say that with immense confidence. So I'm going to just read you word for word what Joe Lanza reported.
I don't know what he's about to say.
I'm not going to embellish any of this. I'm going to read you what he said. There are way more on-screen feuds where the people legitimately hate each other than people think in AEW. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa cannot stand each other. Get this. They have been mortal enemies for years now at this point.
Mortal enemies?
They cannot look at each other in the eye. They hate each other's guts. Jamie Hayter cannot stand Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa broke Jamie Hayter's nose in a match. Then Thunder Rosa was scared that Jamie Hayter was going to beat the living shit out of her and was hiding in a bathroom. Things are ugly in the back, and this is why they're having meetings. And all of this is starting to come out now, and it's just a mess. Okay, there's more.
What?
Right? You want to know more? I assume you want to know more about this Jamie Hayter Thunder Rosa thing.
Of course.
Well, here we go. There was a drop kick to the back of Jamie Hayter's head, and Hayter didn't take kindly to it. Word got back to Thunder Rosa that Jamie Hayter was coming for her, and then they had that singles match on Rampage. I think it was on Battle of the Belts, actually, their world title match, I think it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the semantics, whatever, that doesn't matter. And Rosa broke her nose in the match, which we knew about. Rosa broke Hayter's nose in the match.
So she's coming to kill her, and she goes, right, break her nose.
And Rosa was afraid Hayter was going to shoot on her, and she was hiding in a bathroom allegedly all day. This is the craziness that's been going on. There's just wild going on in that locker room. I think I didn't even sense it there, did I? Sorry, Nicholas. Sorry, Adam Nicholas.
I'll remember.
There's just wild going on there in that locker room right now, and it ain't just Punk and Hangman, it's up and down the locker room. That's the story, that's the report. Present it to you exactly as it was reported. Make of it what you will.
Sorry, I have to comment on this now. I have no idea what to say about all this.
This locker room is nuts.
Wow.
I tell you what.
What's going on?
I love chaos.
I mean, the only thing I can really... I'm not going to speculate too much on this.
No.
Because, you know, it's
people's business.
We just put it out there and say, there it is.
We aggregate reports, and what we do is we just have to tell you...
What we're supposed to do, not report that?
Yeah, we tell you the report when it's an interesting story, and then, you know, you can do whatever you want with it. Usually we then offer our own subjective takes, but this is literally how it was reported.
But I'll give you my subjective say. It's bonkers backstage, isn't it?
A few other notable names have backed this up as well, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara.
Where do you go?
I can't even go. Moving on. Moving on, Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara basically had a fight backstage at last night's AEW Dynamite. An altercation. Sorry, not last night, I should say. An altercation went down though. Fightful Select once again. Sean Ross Sapp coming through with some fantastic reporting here, reporting that Kingston had been suspended. That's right, I said past tense. He's served his time. Basically, the catalyst for this has been reported and corroborated in quite a few places, seems to be Sammy Guevara making a comment about Eddie Kingston's physique, and unsurprisingly, Eddie Kingston subsequently swung at him. So, Eddie Kingston was suspended. He served his time, as I said there, Andy. But their match that was supposed to go down at All Out in just over 9 days, isn't going to be happening.
Oh God, it's actually near enough 9 days. Yeah.
And the new direction is, well, what you've probably seen advertised for Rampage this week. Guevara and Tay wrestling Ruby Soho and Ortiz. That's going down on Rampage this week. What is going on backstage in AEW, mate?
So I'm sorry, I'm just dealing with the myriad advertisements that PW Insider has on its website at the moment because they've just published an update on this. Listen, you can hear one playing through my speakers right now. They've actually got an Eddie Kingston statement on this situation, right? From Eddie, who's commented on his suspension, clarifying it. Guys, I would really love to bring you this update, but my goodness, I should probably put an ad blocker on my iPad or something here.
Oh, there we go.
But yes, here we go. Okay, so Eddie's comments to BW Insider said, "You know the truth, I wouldn't lie, I was wrong for being unprofessional, that is a blind fact." So he's fessed up to you know, whatever happened there. He did what he did and the public can judge, but I know for a fact that I was wrong. So apparently as well, there's some more details here. They were separated from each other. Guevara said something about Kingston's appearance that Kingston confronted him about, and there we go. Right, yeah. What this is just wild. The Wild West has returned to pro wrestling, my friends.
Backstage there, mate.
Insane, right? Look, okay, on this situation, I'll keep it really succinct. I don't believe the violence is the answer to situations. I'm not condoning that whatsoever. Eddie has put his hands up. Fair play to him. I respect that immensely. However, don't make comments about people's weight. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
What year is it that we're
using?
using?
Don't be a body shaming guy, man. It's really terrible form, and it says a lot about your character, if you ask me.
So you're saying he put his hands up for throwing his hands up?
There you go, baby. Put your hair up and square up.
Oh,
Sonya
it's not going to take him long, is it?
Bring back that version of Sonya, man. She was really cool.
Yes. But
and you show respect to the skinheads of the world,
yes,
man. And the bald guys.
It's going to be me soon if this Widow's Peak gets going.
Us guys, man. Us no hair having Mother Hubbards. We need to look after each other. Shout out to Simon Miller. We'll beat you up.
We got Survivor Series team.
We won't beat you up. Simon's nice.
You, Miller, Gareth, Jules.
Who else is bald here?
There's a few of them getting quite close to it and just hiding it, let's be honest. Yeah. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, we want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Mark Smith. Unsurprisingly, guess what it's about? All Out, what the bloody hell's going to happen? Mark writes, so about MJF coming back last night, cry laugh emoji, with only one show left until All Out, Dynamite he means, is there a chance we see AEW do a pay-per-view without a men's world title match, or will Tony just give us something random?
Yeah, I think it needs a big match. It needs at least one big match, for sure. Looking at the lineup at the moment, no disrespect to what's currently on there. I think everyone's very talented. Right, I love this. I love this so much, right? That is not me, by the way, commenting on saying I love the storyline direction or wherever they've taken. We can pick apart that. That's all subjective. I love that everything is in such disarray that we cannot even pick what the main event for the biggest AEW pay-per-view of the bloody year is going to be. In Chicago, I have no clue what's going on, and I adore that the news cycle for the next 9 days is going to be pure, unbridled chaos. We're going to be guessing, we're going to be doing all kinds of content on it, we're going to be debating, we're going to be having arguments with morons who think a cartoon fiend tongue is real on Twitter. It's going to be absurd. With regards to the All Out main event, I think it's going to be Jon Moxley versus MJF. I think that the next move MJF makes in pro wrestling is going to be the biggest thing in the entire sport, no matter what is going on in any company, and I think that that is a match that you can introduce next week and build on 4 days with no problems whatsoever, because the situation surrounding that man is very interesting indeed. Like I said, I'm not commenting on the decisions that were made last night. You'll have to read my article for that. I am a shill and a salesman. That's my take.
Yeah, we're going to be talking all about it. We're going to do a video podcast a little bit later on today, myself and the Dudleys. What needs to happen at All Out? I wouldn't be surprised if they announced that All Out John Moxley's just going to have an open challenge for all I bloody know.
You know
but
what?
yeah, I do think the world title is going to be defended on the show one way or another.
Because there's not many other compelling options, right? Hangman Page was number one in the new rankings, right? But he's probably going to have some kind of interest at the very least. If that Trios tournament goes to the Elite versus the Dark Order, and say one of the Dark Order members gets injured, Hangman Page might be involved in that. If at the very least he'll be involved as a second. There aren't many compelling options beyond that. You can't really do a CM Punk rematch. You established last night that he's injured beyond current repair levels. That's the storyline. Could you bring in a New Japan guy and hot shot a match? That's not the most satisfying thing in the world either. MJF, baby, your boy.
Yeah.
He's getting the shot.
I believe when I see it, I've no idea. It's absolute chaos.
Here's me comes in the studio and goes, "Hey brothers, we're in a hurry today to ramble for 20
No, I
minutes."
love it. It's nice when people get giddy about stuff, even if it is just
I love it.
Crazy.
It gives me no bigger joy in the world than waking up and seeing that the world is burning.
Yeah.
It's fun to cover, man.
It makes our job even more enjoyable than it already is. John Harrison gives us our second question of the day. I like this. John writes, "Happy Friday Eve, boys." That's right, Thursday's Friday.
Yep.
As there is only so much wrestling the average human can consume in a week, do you think, unless announced as a special show, Rampage is worth watching? Have a great day. Peace and love. What do you make about Rampage? Me and Sid have talked about it a lot. Obviously, you normally preview and review it, but you can't argue that the ratings have gone down, and it seems that even in AEW's eyes, it's become an afterthought.
Yeah, it's B show. For sure, it's the B show. It's in the eye of the beholder. I think if you're an AEW completionist, you're going to watch it every single week. I think that if they announce matches featuring people you're really invested in, you're going to watch it every week. I watch it every week because I cover it for a living.
Yes.
Simple equation for me. I don't think they do enough to make it must watch. I don't think they're doing enough to boost that number. I don't know if they're necessarily concerned with boosting that number because they know that, even though it is unquestionably fallen, these numbers have not been good recently. It's still number one in a bad time slot a lot of the weeks. 10 p.m. on Friday night is not a good time slot. Simple fact. You're doing other things. You're not watching wrestling at Friday 10 p.m., especially if you're in that target demographic. So, they definitely don't do enough. It's a skippable show for me personally. Like, if I wasn't covering this stuff for a living, I would probably sit there with my finger over the fast forward button all the time. And that's no disrespect to the talent. It's due to the lack of effort put into it by the promoter. And I don't know if he's really interested in making it more interesting.
Yeah, there's a discussion to be had about how you fix Rampage. I'm not suggesting you put CM Punk matches on there every week or whatever, and I know people say, "Oh, it did do this, and now it's on this, and what have you." It's different. Raw used to do whatever it did, and now it doesn't. Let's not have that argument.
Ratings discourse is poisoned and usually indulged in by people with no understanding of what the word nuance means.
Yes, exactly. But
that's why we barely talk about it.
Hamper suggested maybe you make it an all-female wrestling show. They need to do more spotlight on that sort of thing, in my opinion, in AEW. But
just filed a trademark application for all elite women, so might be.
If I didn't do this for a job and for convenience's sake, I was only allowed to watch 4 wrestling shows a week, it would be Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and it would be 2.0 ahead of Rampage. Because even you admit it's more eventful. It might not be the best.
It's definitely more eventful.
Yes.
Look,
we like carnage in this office.
Exactly. Wrestling is subjective. I hate the idea. I cringe anytime someone goes, "This is objectively better than this thing." No, that doesn't exist.
That's not a thing.
That doesn't exist. It's entirely taste-driven. Objective metrics are things like numbers. So if you're going to make the argument that this is the best thing objectively, because you have to go, well, it draws the highest audience or it sold the most tickets. That's nonsense. If that was true, Ed Sheeran would be the best musician of all time.
Yeah, and he's like top 3 at best.
Yeah, the Eagles' greatest hits would be the greatest album ever. What the hell? It's all subjective. Tangents.
I love it.
On busy days.
Senor Benja gives us our final question of the day. Something a little bit wacky ahead of tomorrow.
Shout outs.
Since Jericho is so on about being a sports entertainer, should they bring it on and make the Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho match at All Out a custody of Daniel Garcia ladder? And Michael Hamflett, shout out to him, even impressed me even more with this. Instead of like a briefcase with the thing like they have with Dominic, Kangol hat. Do it, Tony. That would be great.
I mean, look, they've even got Vicky Guerrero on the book, so if you want to recreate where the hell is Vicky, there you go. It's right there. I mean,
yes.
I mean,
Benja.
No. I mean,
yes.
No, but yeah.
Let's move on to today's and finally a little bit of a sneak peek ahead of tomorrow. Tomorrow we go even more bonkers, but normally that's with the Twitter stuff. We don't want any boring wrestling-based questions, do we? We want the stupidest questions.
Yeah.
We've not had these Friday shows for a while because of the weird way the holidays work.
Wrestling adjacent, but make them dumb. Like if you ask Like, I love it when people send out these well thought out booking questions and stuff. It's great, but not on a Friday, friends.
No, exactly. We've not had these for a while because of the random way that holidays have worked recently, but we show off some of your artwork. It's basically a 90s kids TV show that me and you used to watch, basically, all over again. So send them in at WhatCulture WWE, and a little bit of a sneak peek because, and finally today, and thank you to everyone who's tagged us in this and shared this with me, Wally Gator, the emotional support alligator, is up for America's favourite pet. You can go on and vote for it. There's a link that we've liked on our Twitter from the New York Post. Slight issue, someone else that works for this company has sent a message around us the other day saying, my stupid dog wants to be the best pet. I'm like, shut up, there's a bloody alligator, an emotional support alligator at that. So yeah, go and vote for Wally Gator if you can, because Look at the happiness. I assume that's his owner.
Spreads joy, doesn't he? Alligator never hurt.
Emotional support alligator.
Alligator never hurt no one.
Can we get an office gator?
Yeah, I want an office gator. We'd probably need a bit. We could just flood the basement or something and keep it down there, couldn't we?
Exactly.
Or the gaming office. I mean, that's upstairs. That'd be a problem.
You have to record a podcast, Andy. No, I just have to feed the gator.
Yeah. I mean, our roof got flooded a few months ago, so you flood anything in here, can't you?
Should we put a slope on the roof? Nah.
Slope on the roof.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, we've got to install the tiki bar first. Wow.
Right, let us know your thoughts on just everything that we've discussed in the comments section below.
Go nuts.
But remember, be nice.
They won't be.
Be nice.
They won't be.
You can also like, share, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. As Andy mentioned, we're going to be discussing Dynamite. We're going to be talking about what the hell's going to happen all out. You can read Andy's brilliant ups and downs article at whatculture.com. Miller's going to be here. What on earth is he going to have made of Dynamite in that world title match? He's going to be here with ups and downs a little bit later on today. And continue the conversation and the stupid bloody questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, you can follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for
oh, what a day it's going to be. Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us. God bless the content.
God bless the eel.
And we will see you soon.